All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is September 11, 2020. This is a special meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in Albany and also remotely. We have Chairman Bradley on the phone. Chairman Bradley?
I'm here.
All right. We have on video, and can be seen on video, Commissioners Fan and Ford. We also have staff in attendance. We have General Counsel Meyerhoff is on video. Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Roberts on the phone.
I am here, thank you.
And myself, Secretary Downey in the Albany office. We have 4 matters on today's calendar. They are all requests from Council's office for emergency summary orders of suspension. First item is agenda number 1139 V, Schenectady OP 2197098. The licensee is Wolf's Beer Garden Schenectady, Inc.
Thank you. This is Kayla O'Donnell on behalf of Council's office. Council's office seeks an emergency order of summary suspension for a licensee shown a disregard for the governor's executive orders. Last night, SLA investigators conducted an undisclosed visit to licensed premises, and they found the bar to be elbow to elbow the entire length of the bar. At all times, there were 3 to 4 people standing or walking while consuming alcoholic beverages and not wearing face coverings as required. At one point, there were at least 13 people standing or walking while consuming. One employee was observed behind the bar not wearing a mask as required. Additionally, one table had 13 people sitting at it when the maximum is 10. One of the investigators was served alcoholic beverages without being required or even requested to order food. None of the patrons were observed eating in the premises. As the photos in the record before you depict, these executive order violations occurred both inside and outside the licensed premises. They do have a licensed patio area, and some of the violations took place there. The licensee is being charged with violating executive orders 202.16, 202.38, 202.41, 202.52, and failure to supervise. This licensee has 2 principals, Matthew Baumgarten and Michael Fichera. Matthew Baumgarten is a principal of 3 Wolf's Beer Garden locations, including the present license in Schenectady, which is this case, as well as a Wolf's Beer Garden in Troy, Albany, and Syracuse. He's also a principal of the Old English Pub in Albany. With regards to the Albany location, this particular principal, Matthew Baumgarten, was called by an SLA investigator and advised that patrons were standing while drinking and an employee was not wearing a mask in violation of the governor's executive orders prior to last night. That was again with regards to violations at the Albany location. So before last night's violation, that principal was specifically warned about allowing patrons to stand while consuming and about requiring employees for face coverings. Despite this warning last night, the same violations were found at the Schenectady location. Given the foregoing, the licensee has no excuse for the executive order violations other than it's a blatant disregard in following them, which puts the health, safety, and welfare of the patrons, employees, their families, and the whole community in danger of catching and spreading COVID-19. As such, an emergency order of summary suspension is required. Thank you.
Commissioner Fan, any questions?
Kayla, does this location have any adverse history?
Yes, so there's a sale to minor from 2017.
And nothing else?
That's it.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Ford, any questions?
And how long have they been licensed, Kayla?
The license was issued October 24th, 2014.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Chairman Bradley, any questions?
No, I have no questions.
All right, with that, I'll call for your votes. First, Commissioner Fan.
It's clear that this license premise is blatantly ignoring the governor's executive orders. Based on evidence presented to council, I vote to summarily suspend this license due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare.
Commissioner Ford.
Based on evidence presented, I vote to summarily suspend as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Based on the evidence presented, it's clear that this licensee is a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare, and I vote to summarily suspend.
All right, then the next item on the calendar is 1139 W. It's Westchester OP 1318542. Licensee is Blue Bar and Grill, Inc.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Mark Frering presenting for council's office. This license was first issued on January 10th of this year. It is licensed as a restaurant with recorded music and jukebox only. In the early morning hours of September 9th, 2 days ago, the Yonkers police and fire departments found 119 people crowded inside the establishment in large groups, not social distancing, standing and walking about without masks on. There should have been no more than 50% capacity or about 62 people. So there were more than 50 people in there that should not have been. No food was observed. In fact, the food permit had expired 3 months before. They had a DJ, which is a violation of their method of operation. They had security, which is a violation of their method of operation. And the music was being played very loudly. This is a complete failure to supervise, needlessly putting lives at risk by permitting and indeed facilitating the conditions conducive to the spread of the virus. Therefore, council's office respectfully requests an emergency order of summary suspension to protect the public health. Thank you.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
I have no questions, Tom. Thank you.
Chairman Bradley.
I have no questions.
All right, with that, I will call for the vote of the full board. First, Commissioner Fan.
Based on evidence presented by council, it's clear the location is imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, and I vote to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford.
Based on the same evidence, I vote to summarily suspend as well.
And Chairman Bradley.
Based on the evidence presented, it's clear that this licensee has become a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare, and I vote to summarily suspend.
All right, then we're going to move to the next item. It's 1139.
Tom, I reviewed the evidence of the next two items, and I'm going to have to recuse myself from both of them because I was at both locations.
Okay, will you be leaving
So
the
I'm gonna
meeting
move-
then?
Yes, I'm going to sign off.
Okay. All right, then. Next item is 1139 XX, Queens EB 1320126. The licensee is 3-in-1 Deli Grocery, Inc. And as just noted, the chairman has recused himself from this matter.
Alex Lloyd for Council's Office. Council's Office submits the subject licensee, 3-in-1 Deli Grocery, to the members of the authority to consider an emergency order of summary suspension of its retail on-premises liquor license. It's located at 13111 Jamaica Ave, Richmond Hill, New York. The license was issued earlier this year, February 27, 2020. It's licensed to operate as an EB, which means beer, wine products, and cider only, and it has a food prep area. Investigator Stravali, along with officers from the NYPD, visited the licensed premises on September 10, 2020. Upon their arrival, they noted multiple EO violations, including the manager not wearing his mask appropriately so that his nose was exposed. They observed at least 7 patrons consuming beverages in an outdoor/backyard area. which was permanently constructed. As you can see from the pictures, there's clearly a permanent roof. There are fans. You can see electrical outlets installed. This is very permanent in its nature. Additionally, they observed at least 2 patrons consuming beverages while sitting indoors. Finally, for those 2 patrons, the clerk was asked if they had receipts for any food purchases, as there was no food on the tables, and the clerk was unable to provide any receipts or guest checks for those patrons for food orders. Additionally, regarding the outdoor space in the back where the 7 patrons were observed consuming beverages, that was an unauthorized alteration in that the SLA was not previously informed. The licensed premises does not include that backyard area, and it is not listed on the diagram that the licensee submitted to the authority when it initially applied for its liquor license. Finally, during the investigation, the investigator and NYPD officers went behind the front counter of the establishment, and behind the counter, they discovered prescription drugs, which the clerk was unable to provide a prescription for, specifically antibiotics. They discovered a bottle of Chivas, a hard liquor, which is a liquor that the EB is not permitted to sell or have on the licensed premises. And they found packs of cigarettes, which the EB is also not licensed to sell. The licensee cannot claim in regards to the executive order violations and the SLA and DOH guidance that they've been unaware of them. These have been in place for months now. The executive orders are extremely important and have been designed to prevent the spread of COVID-19, a deadly virus that is currently present in the city. At this time, there's no more imminent risk to the public health, safety, and welfare than to permit the licensee to allow these individuals to consume indoors in these enclosed spaces with inadequate airflow, and to extend the premises and construct these temporary structures that do not have permission from the authority to do so and potentially do not have the appropriate permits. Therefore, we respectfully request that the members summarily suspend this license.
Thank you, Alex. Gary Meyerhoff here. I want to add, just so the members understand, that there were 2 people, I think 2 people at least, who were inside the store proper consuming, which would itself be illegal. But this room in the back, they appear to have expanded onto what was an outside space, put a roof in. There is no airflow there. You can see it in the pictures. In addition to it not being a space that they asked through a method change to an alteration application to add permanently, our guidance for Executive Order 202.38 does permit parties to expand temporarily onto contiguous private space that they have a right to, but they have to send a diagram that they're doing so to us. And my understanding, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have a record of any such diagram or intent to expand into this space as well. So that would be a violation of 202.38. Thanks.
All right, then, with that, Commissioner Fan, any questions?
No, I have no questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford, any questions?
Would they have been able to expand with this special permit to an area that they weren't authorized, Gary, to be in the first place? It wasn't on their license.
If they could demonstrate that they had a right to be there, like lease or something. And it was contiguous private space as opposed to the municipal expansion that they could have done through the Department of Transportation in New York City.
Right.
They would have been able to move there as long as they sent us notice that they were doing so and a diagram of where they were moving to, but we did not receive that.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
All right, with that, then I'll call for the vote of the members. First, Commissioner Fan.
Based on the evidence submitted by council, it's imminent to public health, safety, and welfare due to the COVID violations and also the service of alcohol within this illegal structure. I will therefore vote to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford.
I vote to summarily suspend for the same reasons.
All right, then, we're going to go to the next item, which the chairman has also recused himself from, 1139 double Y, Queens A 1254638, licensee Sunny Grocery and Discount Inc.
You're muted. Council.
Margarita, you're muted.
Sorry, I thought I turned it off. I apologize. Good afternoon. This is Margarita Marcico on behalf of Council's Office. I'm requesting that the members issue an order of summary suspension as to Sunny Grocery and Discount Inc., located at 131-13 Jamaica Avenue, Richmond Hill, New York. This premise has been licensed since August of 2011. On September 10th of 2020 at approximately 9:53 p.m., Detective Spataro of the Vice unit of the NYPD inspected the premise and observed 5 patrons inside the premise drinking in the back room, which is not permitted under the terms of this A license. The detective went to the backyard and observed an enclosure. It was enclosed by 4 walls. There was a urinal there. In addition, they found the licensee principal was present inside the licensed premise. There were cigarettes that were from Georgia that were recovered behind the counter, so they were untaxed in New York. And, you know, for these reasons, the licensee has shown a blatant disregard for the law. He's failed to protect the patrons that are present there. With regard to the people in the rear room, it wasn't clear to me whether in the photographs, whether there was actually beer. It just was not absolutely clear, and I was not able to confirm that. So they're charged with unauthorized alteration for the rear room and improper conduct for violating the 202.3. And also a failure, improper conduct for violating the New York State tax laws with regard to the untaxed cigarettes. So for all these reasons, we're requesting you issue an order of summary suspension.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
Rita, the actual EO violations again?
So we've charged this as improper conduct because this is an off-premise license. And the underlying conduct of the improper conduct is the fact that they're permitting people to drink on the premise under 202.3.
Okay.
All right, then, Commissioner Ford, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions, Tom. Thank you.
All right, then, I'm going to call for your votes. Commissioner Fan? All right, then, we'll take a brief recess and then, uh, Gary, could you call, Commissioner or vice versa? You're muted, Gary, I'm sorry.
Commissioner, can you give me a call on my cell phone?
All right, so I'm gonna mute, on my end, and then, just ask all of you mute on your side as well.
Gary, do you want me on or no?
I think we're ready to go back on. If everybody's there.
All right, there was a brief recess taken while Commissioner Fan had a conference with council. We're just waiting for everybody else to get back with us. Commissioner Ford is back with us. Commissioner Fan, are you there? Commissioner Fan, can you hear and see me again? Commissioner Fan? Well, can everybody else hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you
All
now.
right. Commissioner Fan? Commissioner Fan, can you hear and see us? Commissioner Fan, can you hear and see me? Commissioner Fan, are you able to hear and see us? Commissioner Fan, are you there? I know we can see you. We can't hear you, though. Commissioner Fan, can you call in? Is that possible? If you can hear me, can you call in, please? I will just pause for a second while we wait for Commissioner Fan to rejoin us. Commissioner Fan? Commissioner Fan, do we have you there?
You said she was going to call back in, Tom.
Commissioner Fan, do we have you?
Hey, can I just put you on speaker? Are you having a problem getting in? Hang on. I have her here on speaker. Say something, Commissioner Fan.
Hi, it's Commissioner Fan.
Can you hear now?
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
under the executive order, we can do this with, the members participating by telephone. So I suppose participating by telephone through video is sufficient, I hope. All right, so with that, we left off Commissioner Fan.
Yes,
Do you have any other questions?
If I may, Tom, I just wanted to clarify something for the record. I believe there are 2 rooms at issue in the back of this location, and there may have been some confusion in the way they were described. The members have a report which indicates that there was a room, an inside back room with at least 5 persons drinking inside, and then an enclosed backyard, which is where the urinal is. Can you clarify this for us, Margarita?
That's exactly my understanding. That I spoke to the investigator involved, and he said there were 5 people inside the licensed premise in the back room, and then in addition, there was this backyard area with the urinal.
Our evidence is that they were drinking inside the premises, which would be illegal in New York, even if this was a restaurant or bar. It is not a restaurant or bar, and that's why we're bringing the case to you, in addition to the other charges.
Okay.
Anything else, Commissioner Fan?
No, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. It's super helpful. I'm ready to vote.
Okay, well, Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
I have no further questions. Thank you.
All right, with that, then I will call for your vote. First, Commissioner Fan.
Thank you. Based on the evidence presented by counsel and additionally the clarification, it's clear that this location is an imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, and I vote to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford, and your vote.
Based on what's presented by counsel, I vote to summarily suspend as well.
All right, thank you. I have nothing else. I thank you all for taking time out today, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.